Hello, good afternoon. We are here to present a work titled Improving Prison Staff Awareness and Skills in Dealing with Mentally Ill Inmates Through Distance Learning, Findings from the MENACE Initiative. This work was developed by me, Vítor Costa, researcher at UBI and BSAFE Lab, with Pedro Liberado and Catarina Abrunhosa from IPS, Innovative Prison Systems, and Graça, Esgalhado and Cunha, assistant professors at UBI and researchers at BSAFE Lab. It is well known that inmates have higher rates of mental illness when compared with the general population. Dealing with this population mental health issues is therefore challenging for prison staff. While this is real for everybody working in prisons, security staff in particular tends to lack knowledge and skills that are needed to work with inmates with common mental health disorders. Here we are talking about disorders such as depression and generalized anxiety disorder or panic disorder, and also to deal with severe mental disorders such as schizophrenia. Considering the need for continuing education as well as the costs involved in training, online training can be a potential solution to enhance prison staff skills. This is particularly important in corrections, in correctional contexts in provincial or rural areas, and under the current pandemic circumstances and the recommendations to avoid face-to-face contact. That being said, the implementation of e-learning in correctional settings can be challenging since staff will need to have access to equipment, internet connection, and also requires staff to be somehow comfortable with technology. The work we are presenting here and the findings that we will share with you all, this work was developed for the MENACE project. MENACE stands for Mental Health, Aging and Palliative Care in European Prisons, and these three, so mental health, aging and palliative care, were the main topics of the project that aim to increase the response to mental health disorders within prisons and the quality of palliative care and end-of-life care services. These goals were to be achieved through enhancing the competencies of management and frontline staff to address inmates' mental health needs and the special needs of older prisoners. Partners from Romania, Belgium, Portugal, Norway and the Netherlands implemented online and face-to-face training activities. Regarding online training, 133 participants registered for the online training initiative, and the online training comprised 6 modules. So module 1 was devoted to the essentials of prison health. Module 2, from which we will present the results of the evaluation of this module, focused on mental health in prisons. Module 3 was related with geriatrics in prison. Module 4 with palliative care. Module 5 with staff health and well-being in prisons. And Module 5 with dynamic security. In what concerns the face-to-face training, we had 3 transnational staff training events that took place. The first one was held in Belgium and we had 12 participants. The second one in Romania with 11 participants, and the third one in Portugal with 20 participants. Prior to these training activities, the project partners reviewed the literature on mental health in prisons, and we collected secondary data that was available regarding some of the well-known consequences of poor mental health of inmates. Consequences is of course related with suicide due to the high rate of depression and other mental health disorders amongst inmates. And in this project we collected the real numbers of suicides in prisons and then calculated the suicides per 10,000 inmates in the MENACE partner countries. With these calculations we realized that our results were aligned with ones presented in the literature. Therefore, inmates' poor mental health is a reality, and that brings consequences such as a higher relative risk of suicide when compared with the non-incarcerated or the general population. Regarding the method, data related with participant satisfaction in training activities, both online and face-to-face, was collected during the training events. The questions evaluated participant satisfaction with different aspects of the training, such as the content, the length, and so on. And space for qualitative feedback was also available, so that participants can write some of their thoughts after the training event. Participants' feedback was collected with 11 participants on the module 2 of the learning training and with 43 participants at the face-to-face training events. From the participants that attended the Module 2 of MENACE e-learning training, 11, as we said previously, answered to the participants' feedback form. In sum, the results showed that the course highlighted positive results across all evaluation indicators, and as can be seen in the image, almost all participants agree or totally agree that the course was enjoyable, the contents were clear and well organized, and the general and specific resources were helpful, and that the length of each module was appropriate. Besides, it was also emphasized that the program met practitioners' learning needs, was relevant to their professional practice, and that it provided enough opportunity for interaction. In terms of qualitative feedback received on the e-learning platform, participants mentioned the availability of the course in other languages as something that will be helpful. In fact, the e-learning materials were provided only in English, and as we had participants from different European countries, we need to work in this common language, but of course that raises some challenges related with language barriers with the participants. Also, to provide a text version of the contents for study outside the platform was seen as a potential improvement by our participants. In what concerns the face-to-face training, from the 43 participants that answered the evaluation questionnaire, the overall satisfaction with the training was very high, with a mean of 8.2 on a 1 to 10 response scale. Participants at these training events, so the 3 face-to-face training events, were selected from the project partners and were mostly from Romania, both from the National Administration of Penitentiaries, ANP, and Hospice Casa Sperantia, and also from Belgium, from the Federal Public Service of Justice, and in Portugal from DGRSP. Regarding the results of the evaluation of the face-to-face training events, these results show that 84% of the participants agree or totally agree that the training content was adequate to their professional roles. Still, in these results, more than 85% of participants agree or totally agree that they will recommend the training course to other employees, which is also a sign of participant satisfaction, since they would like others to be part of the same training event. In conclusion, results showed us that high levels of participant satisfaction can be reached in both face-to-face and online learning training. Online learning, especially in a transnational environment, creates several challenges and faces also some barriers, such as the language, the different accessibility to needed equipment, and the system's openness to e-learning. Despite these challenges, e-learning allowed the upscaling of correctional staff knowledge on the topic of mental health without having substantial costs, which is always important. E-learning, therefore, can be beneficial when dealing with staff shortages, since it does not require various members of staff to be trained at the same time. It also has financial advantages when compared with face-to-face training. Based on the MENACE project experience, we also think that with proper implementation and appropriate evaluation, training programs can help prisons, its staff, and ultimately inmates. And we also believe that online learning will increasingly become part of the prison's reality. These are some of the references that were used to prepare this presentation and also to be used on our work. And thank you very much for your attention. We would also like to thank our MENACE partners, of course, for their contribution, and the Erasmus Plus program of the European Commission for supporting this project. Thank you very much, and your questions are welcome.